Hey everyone, this is your stimulus update for Thursday, June 25th. This update is for those of you that still haven't received the first stimulus check of $1,200 and for those of you that are wondering about the second stimulus check. In addition to this, I will answer questions from my comments section and a lot of questions regarding those of you on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, VA benefits, and other people that still haven't received their first stimulus check of $1,200. I will also be going over who is on board with a second stimulus check and what roadblocks there are from keeping this second stimulus check from happening. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Justin and I do stimulus check updates and I give financial advice. So if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. And if you would, please like this video so that YouTube will share it with others. I continue to get asked about the first stimulus check, where it is, why it hasn't come, and what's going on with it. So I'm going to answer a few questions that I received in my comment section on previous videos. Alyssa Johnson commented, "I'm on SSI and have not yet received my first stimulus check. Anyone else in this predicament?" Thank you for your comment, Alyssa. And unfortunately, Alyssa, there are still millions of people that are in your predicament. A lot of people on SSI or SSDI or receive Social Security or VA benefits still haven't received their first stimulus check. I'm not sure what's taking the IRS so long, but just know that you are not alone. There are still millions of Americans that still haven't received your stimulus check. Keep checking the Get My Payment tool, and if you are not required to file taxes, use the non-filers tool to enter your information so that the IRS knows where to send your stimulus payment. These stimulus payments are going out each week. Yesterday was another big batch of stimulus payments to those that received direct deposit. I got a bunch of comments yesterday that people were receiving their stimulus checks yesterday. So they are continuing to go out, and as long as you're eligible, meaning you're not claimed as a dependent on someone else's taxes, and you're below the income limit, then you should receive your stimulus check. The Stimulus Hotline is another resource you have to get a hold of the IRS, and you can call them at 1-800-919-9835. Just know that when you call, you're going to want to do so off hours, somewhere early in the morning possibly, just so that you're not waiting on hold forever. And know that if you get an automated message that just keeps looping and looping, you need to hang up and call back. In addition to this, there are representatives that will take your call but can't give you any specific information about your stimulus payment. If that's the case, you need to hang up and call back again. There are representatives, there are very few representatives, but there are representatives that can help you answer questions specific to your stimulus payment. But most people are not having very much luck with that. But if you have a question that can't be answered and hasn't been answered anywhere else, then your only option may be to call the IRS. I got another comment from Kelly and it says, "Still no stimulus check. Use the non-filer tool, no change, so frustrating." Thank you for your comment, Kelly, and I know it's been super frustrating. And if you have used the non-filers tool, it can take at least 2 weeks before your information shows up on the Get My Payment tool with a payment date or updated information. However, if you use the non-filers tool and it was accepted, the IRS should have your information now, and as long as you're eligible for a payment, you should be receiving your payment shortly. And it's so frustrating that the IRS is taking so long, and even though they have a lot of people's information, it doesn't seem like they're sending out these stimulus payments very quickly. Keep checking the Get My Payment tool. Once again, you can call the IRS, like I said, but be patient and know that it's going to be a pain to get through. For those of you that are wondering about the second stimulus payment, I'm going to talk about that now. First off, the second stimulus payment at this point is only a proposal or proposals, and there isn't a second stimulus check that has passed. So I'm going to go over what is keeping it from passing and the roadblocks and the reasons why it hasn't passed and the reasons why I think it will. So first off, I want to talk about who's on board with the second stimulus payment and who wants it to pass and who would pass it if it comes along. First off, the House of Representatives. That's one group of individuals that actually do want the second stimulus check. And in fact, the HEROES Act, which did pass the House of Representatives, and that included a $1,200 payment to individuals, including $1,200 to those that were claimed as dependents on someone else's taxes, which is different from the CARES Act. but the House of Representatives is very much on board with a second stimulus check to individuals. So, who else is on board? Well, President Trump has gotten on board with a second stimulus check. Yesterday, there was a report that came out from Joe St. George, and it was an interview with President Trump, and President Trump was flat out asked, "Are you going to get another stimulus check out to individuals?" And he said, "Yes, we are. After that, in the interview, he started talking about the next stimulus package, and I think a lot of people got scared. What he was referring to was a stimulus package and not necessarily a second stimulus check. The Washington Post reported yesterday that President Trump told his aides that he is in support of sending another round of stimulus checks. So it does sound like President Trump is on board with another round of stimulus checks to individuals. In addition to President Trump and the House of Representatives, the Senate also needs to sign off on another round of stimulus checks. So there are a few more senators and Trump advisors that are in favor of another stimulus check. So let's go over those now. First off, Steve Minuchin, the Treasury Secretary, last week said it's something we'll definitely consider. And regarding the first stimulus, he said that when we went around the country, people came up and thanked him for it. It seemed to have made a difference to them. So Steve Minuchin is on board with a second stimulus check. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has always been on board with another stimulus check, and that hasn't changed recently. Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican from North Carolina, suggested he would back smaller versions of the initial measure if it was targeted for those people who are hurting the most. And I have to think that those on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and those that have lost their jobs are those that are hurting the most right now. So that would mean a second stimulus check to those individuals if he has his way. Senator Rob Portman, a Republican from Ohio, said that more direct payments should be considered as part of the discussion on how to handle the increase in unemployment benefits. Senator Kevin Cramer, a Republican from North Dakota, said, "Direct check or direct infusion of discretionary money, whether for rent or something more discretionary, would in fact have a stimulating effect, and it could be very helpful to people getting through a rough patch. I'd be warm to those that as one of the components of another round." All of those senators and a couple Trump advisors are on board with a second stimulus check, as well as President Trump is on board with a second stimulus check. So if all these people are on board, then who is trying to hold this up and who is stopping us from getting a second stimulus check at this point? Well, first off, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has already said multiple times that he opposes another round of stimulus. Larry Kudlow, the White House National Economic Counsel, is not one that wants a second round of stimulus checks for everyone, but he would rather have a targeted round of stimulus checks for those that are most in need, so kind of similar to that other senator. Many other senators have talked about getting people back to work rather than more stimulus payments. Senator Mitt Romney said he opposes another round of stimulus in favor of adjustments to the PPP loans for small business, as well as extending unemployment benefits, which are set to expire the end of July. So even though there are some senators that are opposing a second round of stimulus payments to individuals, there are a lot of people that are getting on board with it and a lot of senators that are getting on board with it. Remember, the House of Representatives has basically already signed off on another round of stimulus. President Trump has recently said that he supports another round of stimulus. The only group that we're waiting for now are the senators in the Senate. And once they're on board, the second stimulus payment can happen. So at this point, it's pretty much as simple as if the Senate gets on board, there will be more stimulus. And if the Senate does not get on board, there won't be another stimulus payment to individuals. I do believe that there will be another round of stimulus payments just based on what President Trump has recently said and what a lot of the people are saying in the Senate, and definitely with the House of Representatives already supporting another round of stimulus payments. I read comments all the time from people that are struggling just to make ends meet. They're trying to just pay for food, pay for rent, and just pay for their basic necessities of life, and they're struggling. A second round of stimulus payments would be helpful to a lot of these individuals. There are still millions of Americans that are out of work, and with unemployment set to expire the end of July, they're going to need another option so that they can have some money so that they can live. I believe that President Trump will continue to push for more stimulus payments to help out individuals as well as to help his re-election campaign. I do think that that bodes well for another round of stimulus payments to individuals, and that the chances of it are actually pretty high right now. Thank you once again so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Like this video if you found this information helpful. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. Thank you once again, and I will talk to you again soon.